my honor and pleasure to be here with Rabbi Daniel Landis, one of my teachers, and a teacher to so many around the world, who's been teaching in America and Yerushalayim for decades, and is really helping us think forward in the 21st century about the essence of Talmud and Halakha and Torah, and challenging us to think more deeply. So the question I'd love to ask you briefly is, how does postmodernity and postmodern thought provide a new opportunity for Halakha to flourish?
It's a good question. I think about it a lot. I think what postmodernism offers as a lens, as a way into the conversation, is a real disruption of modernity. Modernity is a very perfectionist system. In modernity, things need to work. Things need to work with each other. Things need to flow. Systems have to be a system. Everything becomes a system. And therefore, modernity allows or compels ideology. And ideology seeks to preserve and protect all the elements of whatever our content is, or the content's religion. In any event, all this is a bunch of hooey, because we don't have perfection. God's perfect, and God admits His own weakness all the time. So where is that? Halacha is a system. I said system. Halacha is a way of responding towards deep human issues and practical issues. In postmodernity, we have the ability to say our answers are not going to be perfect, but our answers should be as best as we can do. When we give up the allure of perfection and of systems, we can be more honest, what's really happening, and we can also admit defeat. An application of that is that we might not have the perfect response to what it is to be a man or a woman. I'm saying specifically genders right now, and how those roles should act. It's a work in process, and the process may turn to be different. But the question we can consistently ask ourselves is what we're talking about and what we're trying to accomplish, is it honest to the Torah? Is it honest to the experience? And forget if it's honest to some perfected ideology. When you have an ideology, what happens then is that you got to twist, and you have to twist people into modes. It becomes the bed of Sodom, in which you have to fit that bed. It becomes communism. It becomes socialism. It becomes rampant capitalism. It fits that own categories. You can't do that to Torah, and that's the real problem.
So to some degree, you can hold more complexity once.
Yeah, but you don't use complexity. Very good. But you don't use complexity as in modernity. You use it as an excuse. It's very complex.
Right.
And we're not exactly getting it right. Hey, if it don't work right now, it's not working for women on certain levels. Okay, let's do the best that we can do, and then maybe we'll continue to do better. Also, we can at least beg for some rachmanut from other people too. Okay, we're working on it.
Who were some of the thinkers that already were approaching the Torah in this way? Who, either in our era or prior to our era?
Well, I think in our era right now, I'm not sure, because the problem on the side of postmodernity could be sometime the disappearance of the holy, and I'm saying we have to have a direct encounter with God, and we have to have the direct encounter with Torah. But in the past, those who are postmodern, every page of the Gemara is postmodern, because every page of the Gemara says, don't tell me about codification right now. Tell me what this means right now, what this line means. Does this line apply? Does this line work? And somebody walks into the Beit Midrash. You don't have a more postmodern moment than those few times in the Gemara when a young girl walks into the Beit Midrash and says to Rebbe, and says, well, do I have to marry this guy or don't? What a postmodern moment. That's disruption. And Rebbe responds.
So my last question, on an ethical level, does this put us into an ethical paralysis? Meaning in the sense that we can't construct an order, we have less rules to how we think about our moral order. Does that become much more difficult to act as a moral agent?
No, it allows ethics to take place. Is there a pasuk? Yeah. Is there other text? Yeah. Is it working now? How can it work? I need the answer now. But now am I bound to that? No, you're not bound to this answer forever. It doesn't become a precedent binding thing.
You're more responsive
this will
to the
free
moment.
us and we'll respond, responsive and all that.
Right.
And I'll add one more thing.
Yeah.
You have thinkers who are, not great thinkers on, not Jewish, but they're great thinkers, but not always our friends. But take two guys, take Badiou and take Zizek. And they talk about the notion of the events. That there are events that are so true and are so momentous, and they create their own internal logic, and they're a spectrum of colors and possibilities. Sounds like Har Sinai to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More Torah, and more postmodernism.
Beautiful.
That's why I came to
Good.
Phoenix.
Good. So we should have the courage to continue to learn Torah and do it more openly and expansively, and not be afraid of postmodernity, but see the new revelations, if you will, that can emerge in our time. Lots of bracha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.